There are three things that can either make your life peaceful or turn it into a battlefield: your mind, your mouth, and your money. Most people lose control of all three and then spend their entire lives trying to fix the damage they themselves created. So let me ask you today, who is really in control? Is it you or your anger, your ego, and your expenses? This question is not just a question, it's a mirror. And if you have the courage to look into it, the reflection you see might just change your life. 1, control your mind. Your mind is the strongest muscle you have, but also the most dangerous if left unchecked. A person who cannot control his thoughts will soon be controlled by them. When something goes wrong, your mind instantly reacts, "Why me?" But a wise mind asks, "What can I learn from this?" Peace doesn't come from the world around you. It comes from the world inside you. Learn to pause before reacting, to think before speaking, and to understand before judging. 2, control your mouth. One careless sentence can destroy years of respect. Our words are like arrows. Once released, they never return. Speak with kindness even when you have power, and speak with courage even when you are weak. Remember, the tone of your voice says more than the strength of your argument. If you can control your mouth when you're angry, you'll never regret what you said when you're calm. 3, control your money. Money is a powerful servant, but a terrible master. People chase it their whole lives, yet forget. Money can buy comfort, not contentment. Don't let your lifestyle rise faster than your income. Save with intention, spend with discipline, and invest with vision. True wealth is not in what's in your bank account, but in the peace that comes when you're not enslaved by desire. Conclusion, the power close. Control your mind and you'll find peace. Control your mouth and you'll earn respect. Control your money and you'll build freedom. These three are not just principles, they are pillars of a meaningful life. And if you can master them, you won't just live successfully, you'll live significantly. The mind is the most powerful tool a human being possesses. It is the source of every thought, every emotion, and every decision that shapes our lives. Yet, it is also the most unpredictable part of us, capable of creating both peace and chaos within the same breath. When people fail in life, it is often not because of a lack of ability, but because they were unable to control their own mind. You can conquer nations, build empires, and earn millions, but if you lose control over your thoughts, you have already lost the most important battle of all, the battle with yourself. Every great achievement in this world began as a thought, but every downfall too started with a thought that went unchecked. Our mind is like a fertile field. Whatever we plant in it grows, whether it is a seed of hope or a weed of fear. If you constantly allow negative thoughts to dominate, you will find yourself surrounded by problems, even in peaceful situations. But if you train your mind to focus on solutions, courage, and gratitude, even your toughest days will become stepping stones toward growth. The truth is simple. Your mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy. It depends on who controls whom. Controlling your mind does not mean you stop thinking. It means you start guiding your thoughts. It means that instead of reacting to every situation emotionally, you learn to respond with clarity and patience. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary people is not talent, it is how they manage their mind under pressure. When everything around them is falling apart, their mind remains calm, steady, and focused. That calmness gives them the power to see clearly, to decide wisely, and to move forward confidently. In our daily lives, we face countless situations that test our mental control. Someone insults us, and our first instinct is anger. Something doesn't go our way, and frustration takes over. We see someone doing better, and jealousy creeps in. These emotions are natural, but letting them dominate you is a sign of weakness, not strength. Real strength is when you can feel the fire of anger inside you, but still choose not to burn others with it. It is when you can face failure without losing hope and success without losing humility. Your mind is not a cage, it's a compass. But if you let it be filled with noise, you'll lose your direction. That's why it's important to spend time in silence, in reflection, and in gratitude. The more you quiet the noise inside, the clearer your direction becomes. Meditation, reading, journaling, or even a simple evening walk can help you regain control over your mind. Remember, peace is not found in the absence of noise, but in the ability to stay calm within it. Sometimes people let their fears and doubts define them. They say, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough. But these are not truths. They are just thoughts that have been repeated so many times that the mind has started believing them. The first step to controlling your mind is learning to question these thoughts. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or hurting me? If it's hurting you, replace it, because your mind listens to everything you tell it. So speak to it with kindness and courage. Think of your mind as a garden. If you water it with discipline, positivity, and gratitude, it will bloom beautifully. But if you neglect it and allow weeds of fear, anger, and envy to grow, it will suffocate everything good in your life. The choice is always yours. You cannot control what happens around you, but you can always control what happens inside you. That is the essence of self-mastery. In moments of stress, remind yourself that not every reaction deserves your energy. Some battles are better won by silence. When you train your mind to stay calm in chaos, people will look at you and wonder where your strength comes from. It comes from within, from a mind that listens to reason more than emotion, that values peace more than pride. The greatest leaders, thinkers, and creators all share one trait: mastery over their mind. They don't let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. They think deeply, act wisely, and stay composed when others panic. Their strength doesn't come from muscles or money, it comes from mental discipline. If you want to live a life of purpose and peace, start by mastering your mind. Don't let it wander aimlessly, give it direction. Don't let it drown in negativity, fill it with gratitude. And don't let it control you, train it to serve you. Because when you control your mind, you control your world. You become unshaken by noise, untouched by negativity, and unstoppable in your journey. The day you learn to command your mind is the day you unlock your true power. Every decision will be clearer, every reaction calmer, and every goal more achievable. Control your mind, and the rest of your life will fall into place. Words are the bridge between our thoughts and the world around us. They shape how others see us, how they remember us, and even how they treat us. But what most people forget is that words once spoken can never be taken back. You may apologize, you may explain, but the sound of what you said will always echo in the other person's heart. That is why controlling your mouth, your speech, your tone, and your timing is one of the most powerful forms of self-discipline you can ever learn. Many people ruin relationships, lose respect, and damage opportunities, not because they lack intelligence or talent, but because they fail to control their tongue at the right moment. Think about it. A single kind sentence can heal someone's pain, but a single harsh word can break someone's spirit. Words have power far beyond their sound. They can build trust or destroy it, inspire hope or spread fear. A person who knows when to speak and when to remain silent possesses a strength that not even money or fame can buy. Silence is not a weakness, it is a sign of wisdom. When you speak less but mean more, people listen. When you choose your words carefully, your voice carries weight. Every time you open your mouth, you reveal your character. The way you speak to a waiter, a worker, or a stranger says more about you than the way you speak to a person of influence. True dignity is reflected in respectful speech. You don't need to raise your voice to prove your point. Calmness commands more power than shouting ever could. It's not about how loudly you speak. It's about how clearly and thoughtfully you express yourself. In life, you will face moments of anger, frustration, and injustice. In those moments, your words become the most dangerous weapon you hold. When you are angry, your mouth often moves faster than your mind. But once the words are spoken, they cannot be undone. A wise person learns to pause before reacting. That pause, even if it's just a few seconds, can save years of regret. Think before you speak, not because silence is always right, but because thoughtful speech is always respected. The greatest people are not those who always speak, they are those who know when not to. Listening is an art, and it is more powerful than talking. When you truly listen, you understand, you empathize, and you connect. Speaking without listening first is like shooting in the dark. You might hit something, but rarely what you intended. Listening gives meaning to your words. It turns your speech into understanding, not just noise. Control over your mouth also means learning to avoid gossip and unnecessary criticism. Talking about others may give you temporary satisfaction, but it steals your integrity. When you talk about someone behind their back, you lose a piece of your own respect in front of those who hear you, because they know if you can talk about others today, you might talk about them tomorrow. The one who controls his words, however, earns silent respect. People trust him. They know his words carry honesty, not poison. Even in moments of success, speech matters. Arrogance spoken aloud turns admiration into envy. A humble tone, on the other hand, turns even your critics into silent admirers. When you achieve something great, let your success make the noise, not your mouth. Speak with gratitude, not pride. The louder you boast, the weaker your wisdom sounds. Control over speech is not about being quiet all the time. It's about speaking with purpose. Every word you say should either add value, inspire someone, or spread kindness. Empty talk drains energy. Meaningful words create impact. Before you speak, ask yourself 3 questions. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If your words fail any of these, perhaps silence is the wiser choice. The tone of your voice is equally important as the words themselves. You may say the right thing, but in the wrong tone, it becomes wrong. Speak softly, especially when you are right. The strength of your point doesn't come from aggression. It comes from calm confidence. People remember how you made them feel more than what you said. A kind tone can open doors that intelligence alone never could. There will also be times when your silence will speak louder than your words. When arguments rise and emotions run high, silence becomes your armor. It protects your peace and preserves your dignity. Not every situation deserves your reaction. Sometimes walking away is the most powerful response. A person who can control his mouth in anger and pain shows real mastery over himself. Your words have the power to shape your destiny. Speak positivity into your life and it will reflect back at you. Tell yourself you can and your mind starts believing it. Speak words of encouragement to others and you'll notice the same energy returning to you in unexpected ways. The way you talk becomes the energy you live in. So control your mouth not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Speak with honesty, but also with kindness. Use your words to uplift, not to hurt. Because at the end of the day, people may forget what you did, but they will never forget how your words made them feel. The world listens differently to those who speak with calmness, respect, and understanding. When your mouth speaks from a place of peace and your words reflect integrity, you earn a kind of respect that cannot be demanded. It can only be given. Control your mouth and you will control your image, your relationships, and your inner peace. In a world full of noise, be the voice of reason. Speak less, mean more, and let your words leave behind echoes of kindness long after you have spoken them. Money is one of the most powerful forces in human life. It can build or break, bless or burden, depending on how wisely it is handled. People often say money changes people, but the truth is money only reveals who they really are. It is not the notes in your wallet that define you, but the values that guide how you earn, spend, and save them. Controlling your money doesn't mean being miserly, it means being mindful. It's not about counting every coin. It's about understanding the purpose behind each one. When you learn to control your money, you don't just gain wealth, you gain freedom, confidence, and peace of mind. In today's world, people work tirelessly to earn more, yet peace and satisfaction remain rare. Why? Because they earn more, but spend even faster. They chase luxuries not out of need, but to impress others. The modern world confuses lifestyle with success. Having a bigger house, a faster car, or branded clothes might make you look wealthy, but true wealth is the ability to sleep peacefully at night, free from debt, guilt, and greed. When you start controlling your money instead of letting it control you, your life begins to shift from chaos to clarity. There are three main stages of money: earning, saving, and spending, and each one requires wisdom. When you earn with honesty. Money that comes from wrong means never brings real happiness. It carries a weight that peace cannot hold. The world might not see how you earn, but your conscience always does. Work hard, but work clean. Every rupee earned with integrity holds more power than thousands earned through shortcuts. Because money earned with truth grows quietly but steadily, money earned through dishonesty disappears just as fast as it came. When it comes to saving, discipline is your best friend. Saving is not about being afraid to spend, it is about being smart enough to prepare for the future. Many people make the mistake of spending first and saving what's left. The wise do the opposite. They save first and spend what's left. You cannot build stability without a safety net. Emergencies, opportunities, and challenges come without warning. If you control your money, you will face them with calmness. If not, they will control you with fear. Saving money is not a punishment. It's a form of self-respect. It means you value your effort enough to protect its result. Spending, too, is an art. Spend with intention, not emotion. Don't buy things to show the world how well you're doing. Buy things that genuinely add value to your life. Every purchase should have a purpose, not just a price tag. The need to constantly prove your worth through possessions only leads to emptiness. The truth is, the richest people are not those who have the most, but those who need the least. When you free yourself from the pressure of comparison, your relationship with money becomes peaceful. There's also a deep link between money and ego. Many people use money as a measure of self-worth, believing that more money means more respect. But respect earned through money is fragile. The day your wealth disappears, so does that respect. Real respect is built on character, not currency. Use your money to create opportunities, not superiority. Help others, uplift lives, and invest in something that lasts longer than luxury, humanity. When you share your blessings, your wealth doesn't decrease. It multiplies in ways you cannot measure. Controlling money is also about understanding time. Money lost can be earned again, but time wasted never returns. Many people sacrifice their entire lives chasing money, only to realize they've lost health, family, and peace along the way. Earning is important, but living is more important. Let money serve your life, not consume it. Balance is key. Work hard for financial growth, but not at the cost of your emotional and mental well-being. Financial control also teaches you patience. Everyone wants to get rich quickly, but wealth built slowly and wisely is the one that lasts. Quick money gives excitement, steady money gives stability. Don't fall into the trap of showing off success before you've truly built it. Let your growth be quiet, and your results speak loudly later. There's dignity in simplicity and strength in self-control. At the core of it, money is energy. If you use it wisely, it brings growth and positivity. If you waste it or chase it blindly, it drains your peace. The person who can say no to unnecessary spending is stronger than the one who can buy anything. Because real control is not shown in how much you can spend, it's shown in how much you can resist spending. The moment you stop letting your desires dictate your wallet, you start living with true independence. The goal of earning money should never be to impress others, but to secure yourself and serve others. Use it to educate, to build, to support, and to create. Money is meant to circulate, not to sit with pride or to burn with greed. When you see it as a tool rather than a trophy, you handle it with balance and purpose. In the end, control over money is not just a financial skill. It's a reflection of your character. It shows how disciplined, wise, and grounded you are. The one who can manage his money can manage his life, because both require the same thing: patience, awareness, and vision. So don't let money make your decisions. Let your principles do that. Earn with honesty, save with discipline, and spend with purpose. When you master your money, you don't just live comfortably, you live confidently. And that confidence is the true wealth that no amount of money can ever buy. Life is a constant balancing act between what we think, what we say, and what we do. True success does not come from mastering just one part of it, but from maintaining balance among all. A person might have a sharp mind, but if his words are careless or his financial habits reckless, his brilliance will soon be overshadowed by the chaos he creates. Balance is the art of knowing when to act, when to pause, when to speak, and when to stay silent. It is not something that comes naturally. It is something that is built through awareness, discipline, and reflection. The one who learns to balance his mind, mouth, and money walks through life with calmness, confidence, and clarity. We live in a world where extremes are celebrated. People either work too much or rest too little, talk too loud or stay completely quiet, spend too freely or hoard too tightly. But balance lies in the middle path. It is about knowing that control does not mean suppression, it means harmony. When you have balance, you don't live life like a storm, reacting to every moment. You live like a river, steady and purposeful, flowing toward your destination no matter how the landscape changes. Balance in the mind means having emotional intelligence. It means not letting temporary feelings create permanent damage. Everyone faces stress, disappointment, and anger, but those who maintain balance do not let those emotions make their decisions. They understand that reacting in haste often leads to regret. They give their mind time to cool, their heart time to understand, and their words time to form with kindness. When your mind is balanced, your vision becomes clearer. You begin to see possibilities where others only see problems. Balance doesn't mean you won't feel pain. It means you won't let pain control your peace. The same balance must reflect in your words. There is a right time and right way to express yourself. Speaking too soon can create misunderstanding. Staying silent for too long can create distance. Balance is the wisdom to know when to speak up and when to let silence do the talking. Some situations demand courage in words. Others demand humility. A balanced person does not use speech to dominate or to flatter, but to communicate truth with respect. Such people are trusted because they don't speak out of impulse. They speak out of understanding. Their words carry value because they are used sparingly and sincerely. Financial balance, too, plays a huge role in overall stability. Money is often where people lose balance the fastest, either through greed or fear. Some spend recklessly chasing happiness through possessions, while others save so tightly that they forget to live. Balance lies between these two extremes. It is the ability to enjoy what you have without becoming enslaved by desire. Financial balance means earning honestly, spending wisely, saving consistently, and giving generously. It is not about how much you earn, it is about how well you manage what you have. A balanced life is not one without ambition, it's one where ambition is guided by wisdom. Too much ambition can lead to burnout, but too little can lead to regret. The balanced person knows that growth takes time. They understand that rest is not laziness, it's preparation. They value progress, but also appreciate patience. Life is not a race to be won, it's a journey to be experienced. And balance is what makes that journey peaceful. Many people lose balance when they start comparing their lives to others. They see someone richer, more successful, or more famous and feel incomplete. But balance means knowing that everyone's journey is different. You don't have to run faster than others. You just have to keep walking steadily in your own direction. Comparison steals joy, but gratitude restores balance. When you count what you have instead of what you lack, peace returns naturally. Balance also requires self-awareness. You must know your limits, when to say yes and when to say no. Saying yes to everything makes you exhausted. Saying no to everything keeps you stagnant. Balance is saying yes to growth and no to greed. It's working hard, but also knowing when to pause. It's helping others, but not forgetting to care for yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Self-care is not selfishness, it's a part of balance. In relationships, balance is understanding that love without boundaries becomes weakness, and boundaries without love become distance. Treat people with kindness, but don't allow them to take advantage of your silence. Speak with compassion, but also with firmness when needed. Balance teaches you that you can be kind without being naive, generous without being wasteful, and confident without being arrogant. When your mind, mouth, and money work in balance, your life becomes centered. Your thoughts become peaceful, your words become meaningful, and your actions become impactful. People will notice your calmness, not because your life is easier, but because your balance is stronger. You stop being controlled by external chaos, and instead you begin to lead from internal stability. Balance doesn't come in a day. It comes from falling, failing, and learning. Each mistake teaches you what to hold on to and what to let go of. Slowly, you begin to understand that the secret to happiness is not having more. It's managing well what you already have. When you live with balance, you don't need to chase peace. Peace begins to follow you. So strive for balance in every aspect of your life. Control your mind so emotions don't rule you. Control your mouth so words don't harm you. Control your money so greed doesn't blind you. Balance all three, and you will find that success is not just about reaching the top. It's about staying grounded once you get there. A balanced person may not have everything, but they live as if they lack nothing. And that, truly, is the highest form of wealth and wisdom a person can achieve. Every human being leaves behind two things when they depart this world: memories and influence. One fades with time, but the other continues to shape lives long after they are gone. That lasting influence is called legacy. A person's legacy is not defined by how much money they earn, how many properties they own, or how many people know their name. It is defined by the values they live by, the impact they make, and the respect they leave behind. When you learn to control your mind, your mouth, and your money, you build a kind of legacy that cannot be destroyed by time. You become an example of wisdom, balance, and integrity, qualities that people remember with admiration long after your voice falls silent. The world today often measures greatness in material terms, fame, fortune, and followers. But real greatness is much simpler. It lies in how you make people feel, how you carry yourself in moments of success and failure, and how you choose principles over convenience. A person who can control their mind doesn't react with anger or jealousy. They think with reason and compassion. A person who controls their mouth doesn't speak to impress or to hurt. They speak to inspire. And a person who controls their money doesn't use it to dominate others. They use it to uplift others. Such a person leaves a legacy of respect, not because they demanded it, but because they earned it through consistent grace and wisdom. Legacy is built in small moments, not grand gestures. It's built when you stay calm in conflict, when you forgive even when you could have fought, when you help someone expecting nothing in return. Every act of self-control adds another layer to your reputation, another reason for people to remember you with honor. The world doesn't remember those who shouted the loudest. It remembers those who acted with dignity, even in silence. When people speak of a great person, they often mention not what he owned, but who he was, how he treated others, how he faced challenges, how he stayed humble in victory and graceful in defeat. Legacy has nothing to do with the things you collect and everything to do with the character you build. You cannot fake a legacy. It is written by your choices day by day. Controlling your mind is the foundation of a strong legacy because it keeps you steady. Life will test you again and again, with success that tempts your ego and with failure that challenges your patience. The one who controls his mind doesn't let either situation define him. He stays the same, grounded, calm, and focused. People around him begin to trust his consistency. They see him as a rock, someone reliable, someone wise. That reliability becomes the first brick of a legacy that others want to follow. Controlling your mouth adds warmth to your legacy. Your words can plant seeds of kindness that bloom long after you're gone. A teacher's encouraging sentence can inspire a student for a lifetime. A gentle word in someone's darkest moment can become their reason to keep going. The world doesn't need more loud voices, it needs more compassionate ones. When you speak with respect and sincerity, people may forget your exact words, but they will never forget how you made them feel. That feeling becomes part of the story they tell about you, and that is legacy in its purest form. Money, too, has a role in shaping legacy. People often say you can't take it with you. That's true. But you can send it ahead, not as currency, but as contribution. The way you use your money defines the mark you leave on this world. If you use it only for your comfort, it dies with you. But if you use it to educate, to support, to heal, and to build, then your money keeps working even after you are gone. A person who uses wealth wisely leaves behind something far greater than possessions. They leave opportunities for others. That is how you turn income into influence. A legacy built on control and discipline doesn't just inspire others, it also brings you peace. When you live a life guided by principles, you don't have to worry about how people will remember you. Respect will naturally follow you because it will come from authenticity, not from effort. People will talk about you not because of what you had, but because of who you were. Steady in thought, gentle in speech, and wise with wealth. Your legacy also influences how the next generation thinks and behaves. Children, students, and employees learn not from what you preach, but from what you practice. If you live with self-control, humility, and kindness, they will carry those lessons forward. Your life becomes a silent teacher, one whose lessons outlive your words. In this way, legacy becomes the bridge between generations, connecting your discipline to someone else's destiny. To leave behind such a legacy, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Consistent in your values, your respect, and your honesty. The world forgives mistakes, but never forgets integrity. You will be remembered not for never falling, but for how you stood back up without losing your principles. Every act of fairness, every moment of patience, every gesture of humility adds another page to the story of who you are. At the end of life, what truly matters is not the size of your house or the number in your bank account. What matters is how many hearts you touched, how many lives you improved, and how much kindness you left behind. When people think of you and feel inspired to be better, that is when you know you have built a real legacy. So, control your mind so that peace becomes your identity. Control your mouth so that your words become blessings. Control your money so that your wealth becomes a tool for good. Together, these three form the roots of a legacy that will stand firm long after you are gone. The world may forget your name one day, but it will never forget the good that came from you. That is the kind of success worth striving for. Not a life of possessions, but a life of purpose.